We originally planned for the results of Yomi Legends to be revealed in this direct. However, due to things outside of our control, it's going to be a couple or so more weeks before we are ready. It will be its own separate video, probably using that new feature on YouTube where a video can be attributed to multiple creators at the same time. As in, it will be its own video uploaded onto this channel, and probably mine as well. Apologies to the participants of Yomi Legends, but Ivy's dead ass in the hospital as of writing this, and Thomas is working 40 hours a week to keep his family above the water. Amongst other things that the other judges are also dealing with. It won't be too long of a wait, but for now it'll have to be this way. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back, everyone! Another 6 months, another KMJ. I'm Pix, your host for today, and this year's Killimanjaro is a little extra special. We're here to celebrate the return of the man that started it all, Ivy Sly himself. Most communities don't live long enough to have 5 entire directs dedicated towards the modding community. And with Ivy making his return, slowly but surely, we decided we'd dedicate the event towards it entirely. Matter of fact, the song you're hearing right now is composed by Ivy Sly himself, as a scrapped version of Yomi's base theme. We'll be playing some other songs from Ivy as we move forward with this direct. As per usual, we're in it for the long haul, so get as comfortable as you can. Though as is tradition, there will be roughly a 5-minute break in the middle of the direct to reload your refreshments and use the bathroom or whatever else. Regardless, what you just saw was the teaser trailer for the second episode in Dia's Animation vs. Yomi Hustle series. Due to it being 18 minutes, we have decided that its gravity is simply too large to fit into a direct and would crush everything else in its vicinity. It will, however, be premiering around 30 minutes after the end of this direct on my, A Bit of Pix's channel. So if you're here live, you might as well see this directly to its conclusion. We'll post the link to the whole ordeal probably more than a few times near the end of the direct. Everyone has to wait, and that includes you, Dre. You will all find patience very rewarding. Patience is a virtue of all great fighters, and you won't find a greater example than these two. Yomi Z, a Dragobald Z mod pack. This pack focuses on characters that get more powerful and transform over the course of a fight. There's even plans for more and more forms to be added after their launch, and more stuff than that in general planned for the future. We start with new of old, and then we have old of new, or more like a new of new old. Or is it more like new, old, new? A massive rework for existing character Soul Claim brings the creator's true vision to life, revolving around an alternate stance he has that fills up with an utter plethora of new moves as you complete small tasks learned around. I can think of at least one more character who is known for adapting to their environment.
Unauthorized access detected. Security lockdown initiated. Please wait for security check.
Xenomorph crash lands into Yomi. Developed by Tire Iron and Jinx, it brings with it a cavalcade of alien freakazoid tools and minions, loosely based on the specific Xenomorph individual from Mortal Kombat X. This character has both a stage and a feature complete with codex with achievements. Are aliens a bit exotic for your tastes? No worries, these next characters will be a desirable return to something a little more traditional.
Cat!
Hello.
I'm so cooked!
What?
Killimanjaro trailer submission is closing in 4 days and I have nothing to show yet!
Doesn't have to be finished. You know that, right?
Yeah, and when it's released on the workshop, you out of all people will find an infinite block string.
That was a really funny block string.
No, it's not!
It was peak.
J11 doesn't agree to the fact, okay, Cat? Not one bit does J11 agree to the fact that losing 5k HP to chip damage is funny!
Bro, in the moment, it was so...
Hey guys.
Hello, Gabe.
Gabe!
Oh goodness, what happened?
Pretty much explain it. Seb apparently needs something for Killimanjaro because it's closing in 4 days. But... Yeah, he's just going through something.
Why don't you just, like, explain it?
What do you mean?
Just, like, you know, explain that you're working on or something. Balancing is hard, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but like, how do I explain that I'm reworking 2 different characters from scratch and making 2 brand new characters on top of that? How?
Seb, you just did. It's time.
What do you mean it's time, Cat? Can you stop saying it's time?
It's time.
What time is it? What do you mean it's time?
It's time.
Cat!
Yomi B-Side, the seminal vanilla retakes mod pack, is getting meaningful updates and releases this year, with the goal of refining the existing reimaginings of the vanilla cast and expanding on the methods with the new ones. It was always worthwhile to keep updated on their progress, but now it might just be critical. Dedication leads to iteration, or perhaps refinement. This next character lives on through that strength. Manala rises from the grave in Yomi. Developed by Ishii, they bring portals to redirect and fire their weapons through. A headhunter wielding a shotgun, rising from the dead, saved by the forge itself. He uses his large normals to strike from afar, allowing their projectiles to further pressure the opponent. Battle and war has a cost, and the thought of resurrection is never comforting, but everyone drowns eventually. 3 characters are coming from the Roblox game Deep Broken. The game hosts the world of Lumen. Maestro Evangard, who rests the vigils, a grounded fighter, limiting his opponent's movements to his own level. Duke Ishamonorizia, a charged fighter using his resonance to empower his attacks. And finally, Zier, the 4th Ministry Prophet, using his tendrils for set play and trapping. Deep Broken is well known among Robloxians, but this next entry is known across the entire internet.
Tell them to bring me my money.
That's right. Boost me on the beat. Shut up! Anyways, yeah. Let's LARP. Yeah. Let's LARP. Okay, that was kind of... ISO, move aside, man. Puzzle can kill easy chatting. Why you mad? It was a fair fight. 3-on-1 till you log outside. ISO, friends is back up. Back up, laugh about your losses. Not unfair, just ask my buddies. We'll do this till you server up. Agenda is the only thing on my mind. A crown of victor stays to the end of time. Skill ceiling's just fiction. The only thing that matters is ego. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and somehow you've died. They'll come back, it won't matter even tens of times. You don't realize what you've done. You fell in and now you're trapped, so try escaping my big combo. I won't beat the manga. Far more to beat me. All's fair to win the game. I won't need a press G. GG, no regrets of mine, yeah. Low kills are just cash to me, man. Mods I hate won't see my reports. The news I gain call for my emotions. Gels all gone, time to rush in. No skill, no real chest for kills, yeah. Buttons all around here on the consoles. It's locking onto my victory. You say that I've been cheating, that's just items. The way I heal just now, you're too broke to afford. I play this game just the way that I intend. Deviate and plan to try and put an end, but now it's pointless. I've called upon my friends. Let's teach you what bursting is. Fine, no more teaming then. Let's go into the subway. You think you can get me? I'm low now and I'm fine. Wait, no, that didn't count. Up as a 3, it starts now. Teaching, no re-wait, I'm lying. I won one more match of fighting. A fair bell, that's what I desire. A good clean call to decide a failure. Wait, please, one more fight together. I'm not a fraud, I could never. Recording our sport that I started. I'll make it look like it's you who lost. GG, no regrets of mine now. I can on both the billboards. I'll stop the thrills to speed this new slander. Yeah, I cannot be beat. ISO, quit the game now. Run into some fall out of bounds. Feed my fragile narcissism. I'll show you ego is the only way. LARPing, with the manga. Teaming, one more to beat. LARPing, it's fair to win the game. I might need a press G. It's now on a countdown. Teaming, everything to beat. Can't stand on a loss. We go to the last try. Bro. What are you doing? Just some jiu-jitsu shenanigans.
Yomi Shenanigans, a pack by Meme Lord which is based off the Roblox game JJS, allows you to play an adaptation of the Roblox movesets into Yomi Hustle, containing a couple characters including Locust Guy, an interesting grappler based on speed of movement, and Vessel, who rushes the opponent down and even has Black Flash chaining from the game. This pack will continue being developed upon into the foreseeable future, and any mod developer is welcome to contact Meme Lord to join in on the project. Also on board the JJK bullet train, this next character will blitz into the action in record time.
ひどいな。人の心とかないんか。 前は当時君やない。
Now Yazenin, a standalone JJK mod, aims to bring the titular character into Yomi, having his signature technique projection sorcery and having many ways of zooming around the map, leading the crowd by speeding ahead. This character proves that JJK representation is a reliance on massive collaborative character packs. Not reliant entirely, at least. Long-time direct viewers, you know this one very well.
大丈夫でしょ。だって君。
俺が飽きるまで何度でも付き合うぞ。
勘違いしてるみたいだから言っとくけど、そっちがチャレンジャーだから。
領域展開。真面目にやってください。どうかしましたか。サボりです。でも尊敬はしてません。
まだまだこれからだ。パワー勝負といこうか。東堂葵。
その程度なのかい？身の程知らずめ。少し面倒だね。呪術廻戦。
The fan-favorite Jujutsu Kaisen mod pack is back with many quality-of-life tweaks, and the in-progress reworks of some Jujutsu sorcerers in the workshop. This update isn't all tweaks in quality of life, however, as two new sorcerers emerge from Jujutsu High. The unslanderable Todo and the diligent Nanami are represented as the exception and businessmen, lovingly crafted and brought into Yomi by the hands of the Kaizen team. Across the history of these directs, you've seen mods from longtime fan-favorite creators, and you've seen many first-timers. This next entry managed to be everything everywhere, all at the same time. Afro version 3, a remake of the first mod ever by our dearest Gabe, taking Afro as you know him to new blistering speeds and heights. A truly aggressive character like no other, though this isn't nearly the only remade character to sneak their way in. Backing up to a theme from a few trailers ago, this next mod is for any Roblox enthusiast.
Guess you wonder where I've been, wonder where I've been. Guess you wonder where I've been, wonder where I've been. Some made a banger. Guess you wonder. I'm in my bag, hold up. Since you got the bread, then show us. You press social, you act like you know us. I sent the trial, won't show up. Stay with my voice like it's co-op. Heard your new song, might throw up. You can catch the peak at your flow up. Bro, what the fuck? Show out. Hit the block if she's getting too close. She don't know what to do when it shows. Can't measure up, but you're taking the dub. Show out. Pose. Need to check if she came too close. She don't know what to do when it shows. You bring her social, you don't even know. Doing her dirt. She gets the worst. Throwing a foot out one on my shirt. I feel family first. You're not in second, you're gonna be third. I'm thinking to the curve. Trying to kill my nerves. What she deserves. She telling her friends that I serve. Stay strapped up, no we don't fight. I lit her up and turn her off like a first light. I'm only giving headshots, baby don't try. And if you really feel songs, need a ghost ride. I'm shit with the movies. Only always gotta do this. And she want me one day, then she out the next day. When she make me feel so damn close, and I'm focused for the camera. Every day, they say you dance out of bed. And tell me I don't know she can't. I ain't with the heart, just know what you feel like. I'm in my bag, hold up. Since you got the bread, then show us. Press social, you act like you know us. I sent the trial, won't show up. Stay with my voice like it's co-op. Heard your new song, might throw up. You can catch the peak at your flow up. Bro, what the fuck? Show out. Pose. Hit the block if she's getting too close. She don't know what to do when it shows. Can't measure up, but you're taking the dub. Show out. Pose. You need to check if she came too close. She don't know what to do when it shows. You bring her social, you don't even know. Doing her dirt. She gets the worst. Throwing a foot out one on my shirt. I feel family first. You're not in second, you're girl, I be third. I'm kicking through to the curb. Trying to get on my nerves. Give her what she deserves. She telling her friends that I serve.
An original character, Recoil is a Robloxian who aims to save the world from perilous danger. He wields his coils to strengthen aspects of his movements to new heights, weaving together their value to manifest excellent versatility, mostly via movement. Of course, with cool characters and mods comes the time-honored tradition of smashing them around in single player like the contents of your childhood toy box. Presented by Emmy, we might have just the thing to help you take that activity to the next level.
Reward will be great. Behold! Whoopsie. Now behold, my beloved home of Atlantis.
Hey, that sounds pretty good.
General Replay Tool. This mod lets you bend the rules of the game in single player in order to access a yet undreamt level of aura for replay choreography. It's not a replacement for video editing, but it makes it easier to do a lot of things in the game. Speaking of video editing, here's a returning veteran of the Direct, continuing the little story, so to speak. Adam returns, better and brighter than before. Cobwall's remake of his seminal work, the new Adam is host through a swath of technical improvements, as well as a reimagined kit, aiming for something along the lines of vanilla levels of depth and intrigue. Adam uses his specials to manipulate the gems he litters around the field, or consume them to enhance certain moves. He also supposedly has lore attached if you're interested. But you know who else has lore? I think. I don't know, I don't play Genshin Impact. The King in Binds emerges once more, with a few new tricks up his sleeve in a new update. The most prominent of which is his ability to summon a minion to aid him, known as a Picadillo. But the King himself is of course packing some additional heat he did not have access to before. Though, with an abnormality as strong as this, someone needs to suppress it, right?
세피라 중 최고의 전투부서 징계팀이 나설 시간이야.
Gashing a great wound into Yumi, Gabara from Library of Rena is here to make her title a reality. This new take on the Red Mist herself is a snowballing rushdown character developed by Triple. As the round progresses, she is constantly enhancing her specials and utilizing her crazy movement. She takes on the weapons and abilities from the many abnormalities her floor hosts, and of course her signature ability of weapon mimicry. She's also dropping with a codex, along with 6 brand new achievements to hunt for. But what is red without blue? To mirror this familiar face, let's show you someone of the same ilk, but completely unfamiliar. Get ready, because there's a lot to go for in this character. Originating from the Library of Rita mod, Cole's Sun Office, Lou Zahn is a fan-made color fixer. The team of Cole's Sun Office worked directly with the mod creator author to adapt their character into Yomi. He's actually come out here before he's appeared in Cole's Sun Office. Lou is a stance-switching aggressive character, but instead of swapping stances normally, his stance is entirely dependent on if they are holding his umbrella or not. With the umbrella, he's fast and agile, applies debuffs, but in modest range. Without the umbrella, he gets a bit more tricky, and can even steal super meter with his icy attacks. When this character drops, he too will have a fully featured codex. Well, we're about halfway through the trailer. You guys know what that means. It's break time. You guys have about 4 minutes. The game waits for nobody, so be quick. In the meantime, for anyone who doesn't need to do anything, we have some fun questions you can answer in chat. In the meantime, I'm probably gonna get myself some water, because God, the amount of retakes I've had to do for the script is immaculate. Why are some of the names so needlessly complicated? God damn! Okay, got my water. And the intermission's still going. Oh, that's great. Well, I hope that you guys are having a good time watching the trailer and all that, because, unfortunate circumstances, one after the other, isn't exactly a very convenient thing to look forward to, but hey, at least I got you guys watching. Hi, Dre. Hi. Say hi. Have chat say hi to me. You know what's really funny? I find it really funny that the one time that Ivy Sly returns to update the game, he deadass gets hospitalized. I don't know. He could have gone hospitalized any other time, and I would have been fine with it. But like the one time he decides to come back to the game, that's what happens. I feel like I'm gonna get hospitalized after working on an 18-minute trailer. Oh my god. Anyway, KMJ starting soon, so y'all better get back from the restroom. See you guys. Bye bye. 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 Love you. Bye. 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 A lightning round is fitting for beings of myth and legend such as these. In a race between modders of all sorts to claim a chunk of a $3,000 prize pool for themselves, let's see the fruits of their labor in place of the results. Let's start out with the competitor most memorable, who appeared last direct. The Grievous Commander. The Asma has no regard for the life of his men. Consequently, he was cursed in death, the dead men following him into battle. If anything, a cautionary tale sort of story, but the type you'd expect from an ancient mythos. Miasma seems to be a form of a slightly more recent time than that. Make that of that what you may. Legends are told throughout the ages and generations through written word and word of mouth, but this is a legend of old. Emphasis on old. On the right. Powerful at a distance and up close, Wisecracker thrives off of having multiple options to threaten the opponent at once, and you'll find none are too lacking. She can utilize different swords to set up and control her space, or enforce an extremely scary advantage state with her fast buns and multiple guard breaks. Her advanced age is her only real weakness. Overexertion may well lead you to defeat. Don't take it for granted, however, that your free will is your strongest trait above all. Alonzo is a living puppet and playwright, a self-proclaimed master of theater. He commands a cast of smaller puppet beings as his unpaid actors, just like my own interns. Ooh, I don't know if you're gonna add that. He can command them to attack, or move in tandem with his own attacks to launch them as projectiles that can be aimed with the eye. They aren't too easy to position, but in the right spot can lead to some nasty setups. He also has a needle that he can pull himself towards for movement, as well as to tether it to the opponent or a minion if it hits them, which then grants access to some exclusive tools. You could put emphasis on exclusive or on tools for this next legend.
Well, well, whoever could it be? Ha ha ha! Think fast! Volcanic knee! Hadron smash! Now serving the last course!
Ion is the descendant of a powerful warrior bloodline, whose members could only control various elements of nature. In the modern day, this mercenary family has little purpose and direction to aim their powers in, but Ion set off along with his magnesis to become a strong and renowned fighter. Using his magnesis, he can place opposing polarity on objects to attract them to one another, or place the same polarity to make them repel from one another. When he and his opponents have opposite polarity, hitting certain attacks results in earth-shaking consequences. You know what else comes from earth-shaking consequences? Thomas, that is a fucking stupid-ass line. Broodhammer and her partner in space crime hatch into action. Broodhammer is a vicious alien hailing from an unknown region of outer space. While immobile on her own, the matriarch's true forms contained inside the head of a large hammer wielded by her loyal mate, spawning an endless amount of children. Ooh, that fun. The Broodhammer seeks to wreak havoc upon the land and devour all that dares stand in her way. I can think of at least one place where you might be safe though. At the top of Mount Killimanjaro stands the mountain climber himself. This climber's identity is unknown, but they are often spotted at the top of the toughest peaks in the world, scaling them in record time and seemingly defending them from the vagrants and saving people from the environment's dangers when necessary. So it's no shocker he's shown up at the modded mountain itself today. Thankfully, we didn't all come to this arcade today and left some people home. It'd be a real awkward otherwise. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our Yomi Legends speed round featuring just a handful of entrants to the jam. Truly a fantastic array of talents and hard work on display, and definitely not monetarily motivated, no, for no reason. Now, don't get it twisted, that might be all we have to show for now, but within a few weeks or so, we will hopefully be able to deliver the results of the jam in totality as its own video on this channel and mine. Instead of being awesome and legendary though, this next character is just kind of a jerk.
I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft. 4x4 axle style. Axle grease make it cry. Extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze. Burn it and let it swim.
We serve food here, sir.
Hey, I don't want pizza. I want tacos.
Okay, well, this is Pizza Hut. If you want tacos, you're gonna have to call somewhere else.
Should I call Taco Bell?
In a Steel Cage Shoots and Ladders match at WWE Super Slam.
Gehenna slams in with no regard or discretion, a powerful fighter who is powerful beyond reason and seeks to crush other powerful people as to have no competition who could stop him from doing as he pleases. His power seemingly comes from indulging in the thrill of the fight as a whole, causing recursive spikes in power. I think we have just the tool in store to reign in such a threat, however. The power of friendship, isn't that right, guys? Come on, come on. Flying into view from above, the Apostles consist of two mech suits fighting alongside each other in a style between puppet and tag fighters. The ability to trade weapons between the two enables such a setup and allows for a great diversity in playstyle. They also have access to a powerful power-up state, granting them all of their weapons simultaneously and allowing them to attack in tandem, for the ease of shredding the opponent to ribbons. These two technological talents will demand a lot of you and reward you proportionally. This guy is not a technological talent though, he's a technological terrorist. The Calamity has arrived to threaten the new world, the sequel character to Skyhunter by Tinfoil. This is the previously unnamed villain from Skyhunter's backstory. Though he's lacking the army he once had, he still comes prepared with a myriad of unconventional movement options and setup tools. His proxies allow him to fight as if in multiple places at once, acting as teleport points usable at any time, while also being able to additionally fire laser beams and other projectiles. Pursued by the Skyhunter and his sister unit, he has learned and adapted to his new battlefields. He gives no quarter and expects none back in return, so don't take him lightly. We do have someone you can take somewhat lightly though. As is tradition, the unsurprising appearance of a Grapes character. Though to be fully honest, this one's kind of fishy if you ask me. I'm just squidding. I'm gonna krill myself, actually.
What the hell is this?
No shark here, but we would have the next most bloodthirsty thing. Valentine, the newest of the Grapes line of characters, is what, in our world, would almost certainly be described as a vampire. Though in reality, she fights against their corruption and malfeasance, despite her familial connection to the cursed bloodline. Their own daughter has become their own worst nightmare. Let's go from painting the town red to painting the cyborg-looking guy, rainbow, I guess. Let's go from painting the town red to painting the town everything under the light spectrum. Spectrum makes a great big splash. This is such a horrible script. Not so long ago, Spectrum grew tired of being the enforcer of a gang, and being used as the template to create lesser enforcers who'd also do their bidding. And so, has taken it upon himself to replace those knockoffs and take down the four heads of the gang. This character is a rework of an old mod by Ray, replacing the old version of the mod with one that more closely fits their vision and modern standard. Spectrum's playstyle revolves around using various colors to weaken the opponent in different ways, leaving them vulnerable to harm. That guy has enough colors for at least 3 characters. And I can prove it.
Welcome to my playhouse where I'm a cat and you're my little mousey. Run fast, I'll chase you down, ready to and break. The game starts now. Let's follow, I'm getting warmer, so come on now. Just sweep a little mousey, don't try. The clock ticks, I can clicks, little bad, nothing quick. Play along, just sweep a little mousey, don't try. Run fast, I'll chase you down, ready to and break. The game starts now. Little guy, don't be scared. I got cheese with leg. Come on out, just sweep a little mousey, don't be shy. Get the salt and pepper, get high forever. Yeah, you know, just sweep a little mousey, don't be shy. Why try so hard to go when you know you're just too damn slow? On the go, so hard to know. You scared, my eyes glow. Now it's too thick. Little guy, don't be scared. I got cheese with leg. Come on out, just sweep a little mousey, don't be shy. Get the salt and pepper, get high forever. Yeah, you know, just sweep a little mousey, don't be shy. Oh, Marco, where's my road? I'm getting warmer, so come on out, just sweep a little mousey, don't be shy. The clock ticks, I hear clicks, little bad, nothing quick. Where you know, just sweep a little mousey, don't be shy.
Mod developer Gardrick is back with a bunch of new characters. Sage returns stronger than ever, an update gives them more earthbending techniques and a more well-rounded playstyle. Sinner emerges as the second member of the Krugler Atom, being a sort of mix between a snowball fighter and a two-phase fighter using his cane and rapier. Luna also arrives, using the power of the moon to summon mirages and shadows that hurt like the real deal, matching that set of power with close-quarter skill. Those guys seem to carry themselves over with a serious aura. This guy definitely does not. This is so cool. Scott Pilgrim takes on the world of Yomi. This ever-lovable loser brings his passion for music and retro video games with him, and weaponizes them. With the help of his band called Sex Bomb, of all things, he'll definitely be ready for something. Hopefully at least for the secret unforeseen enemy holding a grudge against him. Honestly, of all the pre-existing characters you can adapt to the game, Scott Pilgrim is one of the most out there, to say the least. He's a bit of an old head pig, really. You'd have to be some sort of time historian to be particularly familiar with this comic. The 8th character in the Sins of the Mother mod pack, Time Historian makes his entrance. He specializes in his aggressive pixie-adjacent style that's enabled by his control over knowledge and time. He can record options from the opponents and apply them to himself. He can use clocks to shift the momentum of time to his favor. He's equipped with the signature Sins of the Mother Sin Burst and can utilize this powerful install to leave the opponent as nothing but a footnote in the history of his war journal. Available now in the workshop and will be downloaded automatically if you have the Sins of the Mother mod pack already installed. Convenient. The next one though? The next one will kill ya.
その首、俺がもらい受ける。 りあえず失神させたが困ったら面倒だが家なら送り届けた方が残刑に処す
The Night Break Killer. Night Break that killed you. Or something, I'm pretty sure at least. Nanatsu builds stacks of a debuff, and then is prompted to hit the opponent with critical timing. If you hit with the precise timing, you get to cash out for extra damage. Despite his unassuming appearance, avoid this serial killer if you don't want that nasty fight in your future. As the night breaks, the daylight comes, and it's looking a little different today. Shattered like broken glass, Speculum makes his debut. Created for Modded Mountain's own Marmalade mod jam, Speculum is a living star who puppets around a mirror as a body. He uses his puppet playstyle and careful placement of light sources to put the opponent in dangerous situations via control over light and reflections. This mod is going for a more vanilla feel and will be available to the public at the end of the M4 jam. At times, I really miss when this whole thing was just about finding random people on the Is that my car? Is that my car? My car crashes catastrophically, killing at least 4 pedestrians in the process. Into the workshop. Bringing with it a whole new gameplay mode, I guess, for Yomi Hustle, where you guys get to beat up my car! Of course, being in the classic vehicle destruction score attack style, heavily based on the beloved Street Fighter franchise. It's a good time to honor a long-standing tradition. Please don't invite Robot though, I don't think he'd like that very much, considering that he's got very strong relationships with vehicles, but hey, enough about that said. I feel like I'm forgetting something though. Oh yeah! The money! I need to pay the jam ridders! Crap, I almost forgot, hang on. The future king of the pirates, Monkey D. Luffy, stretches into place. Straw Hat is a melee fighter that thrives in mid-range and uses his stretchy powers to kick the opponent's ass. Along with a versatile set of tools, he will be able to enhance himself, slip by attacks, or subdue his opponent with his haki. And to top it off, he'll get access to his different gears to upgrade his movement or change it entirely. To follow Luffy's development, follow his thread in the Whip Mods channel and Your Only Move is Hustle modding server for similarly consistent updates with his progress. I'm out of breath. Though thankfully, with that, KMJ 5 comes to its probably rather untimely end. Admittedly, it's not everything we were hoping it was going to be, but that can't be helped. We will hopefully see you again this winter, and hopefully get to see those ambitions through to the end. In the meantime, enjoy the plentiful fruits this community bears. It's always a good time seeing what our regulars and newcomers have to offer every 6 months. That's one thing that never changes. You guys have a good one, gentlemen. Stay perfect and happy hustling.